Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to HearthKeepers of the Earth. This wonderful, beautiful, sunny Arizona afternoon. It is about, let's see, what time is it? 2:10 p.m. in the afternoon here in Arizona. Normally, I do this at night when it's late, but that's okay. I just felt like I need to get it done and finished because I had another email requesting the story for the how I almost got bit by a bear. Anyway, I'll go ahead and finish this little series I got here going called the Virtuous Woman. We're discussing um, the different aspects of womanhood and being a woman, and how wonderful and special it really is. Um, how important we are, not just in our families, but in our communities and in our universe, but to whatever deity that you espouse to. Uh, as a female, you are a very special being. You know how that goes. Anyways, what we were on was Proverbs. No, I'm not Christian. I'm only using the King James Version Bible because it's easy to get to for me right now. I read quite a few different types of scriptures, from the Quran to the Torah to the Bhagavad Gita, the Apocrypha. I mean, I've done a lot of studying, but this particular chapter in this particular book, uh, I found this very helpful to me over the years. Continues to be a help to me over the years. Helps to lift me up and remind me that I am unique in and of myself as a being, and that so are other women if they but look carefully and take the time to actually be what they really want to be. Um, in any case, we were on number 26, 31, Proverbs 31:26 now. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Now, this is a woman, if you want to be virtuous woman, this is one of the guidebooks I go by also. She doesn't need to curse or scream or yell or be nasty or be verbally abusive or demanding to move or to get across what she wants to get across to people, or move what needs to be moved, or discipline whoever needs to be disciplined or guided along. I don't think it's necessary for us to be screaming and yelling and cursing at each other, at our husbands, at our children. Um, a virtuous woman doesn't need to. A look. I mean, my mother, my mother and my grandmother didn't have to yell and scream at me. I don't remember her. I only think she yelled and screamed at my brother once, that I recall. I don't. If I wasn't there, if there was other times I wasn't there, but she didn't have to scream and yell at me. My mother could give me a look, or she had a certain tone to her voice, um, that, Brooke, no, you didn't say. You better say yes. How high do you want me to jump? She didn't require us to grovel, um, but her house, her rules, and that was the way it was. And we were required to participate and be part of that household by helping to take care of the home and doing our part. But she didn't have to yell and scream and curse at us. My mom never cursed at us. She never called. I mean, I never heard the N word, really heard it. Not in my house. I never heard the N word in my house, in my grandmother's house either. I think my grandmother heard somebody else say it, and she read them the riot act over it, and she didn't really raise her voice either about it at that point. But she let them know I will not have that word in my house. I will not have that word around my person. So I didn't hear the N word until I was like 26, 27 years old. And it was from some strangers who were throwing stuff at me out of their car in Mesa, Arizona, of all places. It was weird. It was a weird situation. In any case, um, you don't have to do that, ladies. You don't have to be loud and ugly to get your point across. Um, it's so much more powerful sometimes, that quietness, that peacefulness, that grounded, solid, rooted peacefulness does more, moves more, tells more, and is much more powerful than the screaming, yelling, and cursing. It really is. All right, number 27. She looketh well to the ways of her household and eateth not the bread of idleness. That means she's not lazy, and she knows how to rest, and she knows how to manage her time. You cannot be lazy and run a really nice household. You have to learn to budget if you want to not waste your money or your husband's money, whoever's working. You have to budget in order to make sure the bills are paid on time when they're supposed to be paid, at the amount they're supposed to be paid. You cannot be stupid and be a housewife. The idea that a housewife is not worth much is a lie. A really good housewife keeps not a spotless house, but a clean, orderly house. She has her children pretty well disciplined, so that they don't embarrass her in front of God and everybody. Her dishes are washed, her clothes are clean. She doesn't always have to look, you know, all dressed up and everything like that. She's at home. But having her house in order, a chaotic house, means you also will end up with a chaotic mind and people in the house who are chaotic. You see it all the time if you pay attention. So no, she's not lazy. She knows how to manage her time, but she also knows how to rest, so that she can manage her household. All right. Number 28 in the Virtuous Woman series. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Your family, once you show them how devoted you are, how much you love them. I mean, a virtuous woman, she's so much loved and can be depended upon. I mean, her family can depend upon her. And her family shows her appreciation and respect for her work and care by doing the little things to help her. Yes, don't throw your clothes on the floor, put them in the hamper. Don't worry, Mom, you fix dinner, let us wash the dishes. We'll wipe off the counters. We'll sweep the floors. You did it, already today. It's nighttime. You fixed dinner for us. Let me help you with those. And don't worry about that. I'll help you fold the clothes. It's not just what they say, it's what they show. But they also praise her so that it gives her a way uh, to say to herself, I am valued, I'm loved, and I'm valued as a person, as a mother, as a woman. And it helps her to keep going. It just helps. So, when your family members um, are oftentimes saying thank you, I love you, helping you out here and there in the house, contributing in your household, ladies, you've already reached part of that being of a virtuous woman, number 28, that people call you blessed, because you are. You really are. She's considered highly by her father. If in fact her father is at home or alive, and even if he's not alive. Number 29, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. You excel all. By being a virtuous woman, you are looked up to even by your own father. That is quite, I'd say, quite a trophy, I would say. I felt looked up to by my surrogate father, who was a Mr. Minuti. And He kept me humble, but he always told me he loved me. He always encouraged me. Um, and he always thought I was the most excellent of people. And he told me so all the time whenever he saw me. All right, number 30. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Well, now we're getting into the whole religious thing. I'm not going to get too far into that. Okay, everybody has their own thing about religion. That is really personal. I'm not going to get all up in that part aspect of it. But it is true that when just because someone says, "Oh, I would like so and so," and "Oh, I'm playing favorites," someone may be playing favorites with you and not care about you at all. They care about what you're doing for them, but they don't care about you. And beauty is vain. Why is beauty vain? Because it fades. We can't stay 22 and 23 and 26 and 30 forever. That's not the way we're made. We are made to age and die. That's the way our bodies are made. And so to remain virtuous, a woman right through into your 80s and 90s and hundreds even, you still can command a beautiful, wonderful, glorious, shining dignity. All right. That is beautiful to see because it shines from within your eyes and in your smile and in your words. And if you're a religious woman or you're devoted to prayer and knowing that there's a higher power that you can go to for support, I think that's a good thing. I really do. I think having a personal relationship with a deity or God, whatever that may be to you, is important. I've seen that it's important to a lot of people, and I respect that. I do not share their belief systems, and I don't have to, but I've studied a lot of them. I find them all very fascinating, very interesting. And I also found that there are a lot of jewels in those different scriptures concerning how to be a good, decent, virtuous, strong, productive woman. Every one of those so-called holy writings or Bibles or books of religion have certain kernels of beauty and truth and light within them if you want to dig in and find them. Number 31. It's the last one, number 31. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. We oftentimes, as women, do not allow people to reward us for what we do. We oftentimes are not the people who get to eat the fruit from the tree that we've planted. Sometimes because we just forget, sometimes we're not allowed, but most times, I hate to say it, but we actually think we don't deserve it. We haven't done enough. Well, you have to judge for yourself what's enough, but to decide that you haven't done enough when you know that you already have, that's not necessary. You deserve to be able to eat the fruit that you helped to plant. Um, and take humbly within your heart and let it lift you up and help shore you up against hard times when people praise you and compliment you about not just how you look, but your household and how well behaved your children are, or how happy your husband seems, or how clean your house is, or maybe you sew well, or maybe you cook well, and people praise you about it. Allow them to praise you. Take it with humility and gratefulness and use it Okay, use it as the ammo you need to keep on moving forward in your life, whether it's in your business, in your family, um, professionally, or domestically. You can be a virtuous woman. And amazingly, most women really are, and they don't even know it. And they don't hit all of the 31 points. Of course not. Nobody's perfect. And don't expect to be perfect. If you get even half of these, you're doing good. But to strive to want to be a virtuous woman who is a multitasker, an entrepreneur, a person who is socially responsible, a person who loves her husband, her children, her home, a person who's humble and dignified and beautiful and takes care of herself. That person is a virtuous woman. And if you care enough to care, you're virtuous. Don't let it stop you. When you really get down on yourself, this is just one of the scriptures. I know there are other scriptures in other books, but this is the one I use for myself, and that's why I'm sharing with you. Um, when you really get down, this is really a good scripture to read and to remember who you really are and what you're striving for. Because you don't have to not make money. You don't have to say, "Oh, I don't need a man," in order to be a virtuous woman. Having a man I think is great. I mean, I need a man. I needed my husband, who is gone now. Um, I needed a man as a father. So it's not just need. It's not just need. This time, need is intertangled or entangled with want, because you need them for specific things, but you want a man around. Um, for the strength and the love and intimacy that he can give you as a husband, and the strength and the kindness and the support as a father. It's very important. So don't underestimate the men, of course not, but don't underestimate yourself and what you can achieve as a virtuous woman. So, anyways, today was one of those days when I didn't do a lot. I shaved my head. Yes, you can see. I know. Shaved my head and got to wash it here pretty soon. I didn't do a very good job, but I did the best I could with what I have clippers, but you know how it goes. And yes, you see my humble house behind me. Um, my stepson wanted me to figure out how to put a what do they call those pictures or virtual rooms behind me. Okay, while I'm doing these particular shows here. And I told him, well, I would try to figure it out because I'm pretty good at figuring it out. And then I thought, wait a minute. I mean, I looked into it. I may even still figure out how to do it. But I like my little background. I like my little funky house. Look at the way it looks, and it's not much to it. There's nothing brand new about it. It's not totally messy or anything. But I like it just the way it is. What you see is what you get. I like the fact that I'm not trying to pretend to be something I'm not. I don't need a special fancy background. I've seen some really pretty ones too. I saw some real pretty ones. I did. I saw one with a fireplace, you know, but I'm in Arizona. So, in any case, it's been wonderful just to be able to be here today. One more day of life. I'm still here. And I'm grateful for that. I really am. I'm grateful that I am. Something weird happened too. I have not been able to get into my Facebook for years. I've been trying everything, this, that, and the other. And, the whole picture taking thing that they got now. And today I went to get on it, and guess what? I got on. Go figure. I don't know how that happened. I really don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out. I'll get around to figuring that out each day. Anyways, you folks have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. A productive week next week coming up. And the next time I see you, hopefully I'll have it. I'll have to find it because I wrote it all down. I can't remember all the details, so I wrote it down, the story. It's part of my memoirs. Uh, next time I see you, I'll answer a couple of questions. I have a couple of questions that need to be answered by some people who emailed me. And I'll tell you the story about how I almost got ate by a bear in, by God, West Virginia. Until then, take care, folks, and be kind to yourself. This is Mama B. Bye-bye.